Thanks for coming back and checking this part out. Watch this bit and get to the end. So you might think the next thing to do is put this back on, but it's not. We need to put this on. And this seems like, well, that'll block the screen. What's the point? The point is that we don't actually need the bit in the middle. What we need, if we can find the tweezers, is the bit on the edge. There we go. So let's pull the centerpiece away. We don't need that bit now. What we need is this to sit here, but obviously we still need it to be sticky. So again, peel all that away. Now I'm going to start at the top right because I want this to sit underneath this. I don't want to take this screen protector off just yet. I've still got to do other things and I don't want to get it all sticky. So a bit of juggling. Let's try to get that in there. It's a bit more fiddling than you might first think. I'm actually going to move the screen around a little bit so that it's a bit closer to me. It's going to be so unsticky time I've finished. I do think this is maybe a bit too long. Right, I've got one corner. One corner. Doubt it has to be perfect, but we definitely don't want it to be showing when we've got the bezel on and everything. Yep, it's coming across as being a little bit too big. Try not to stretch it like I've appeared to have done. Just to give a bit of a buffer anyway. It's not on the screen there. Just going to double check that side. Yeah, it's over the screen just ever so slightly. There we go. Right, now we fit this, and here this is where we get the ribbon cable in on the right hand side, all in one go, remembering to keep the little door gate thingy open. Come on. See, that's the reason why I don't want to take the screen protector off. It's in there now. Put the little gate back down. And squeeze this over the top. There we go. Shame I've gone and twisted that corner there, but it should squash down. And I get it all closed up. So, what now? Well, the truth is, we need that bit on the front bezel, so let's do that now. And to do that, we need to undo some screws. So, obviously what we're doing here is removing the little joystick. Again, I'm putting my screws in such a way that I'll remember which one's which. There we go, we've got the joystick. Yours might have the little cap on. You might have to pull that off first, but that's dead easy to do. Mine was missing on the particular one. So now we need the front bezel. This has big screen protector type thing on the front as well, so I'm just going to peel that back a little bit so that I can reach this. Oh, seems to be a bit of a shim. If I do the joystick slide around, it still slides around perfectly fine. Just double checking because sometimes they get a bit sticky. Come on. Has this been awkward again? There we go. A bit of finagling, but it's in now. So that's the joystick put in. And now we obviously need to get the buttons in as well. So let's move that out of the way because we don't need that bit. Hopefully it's clean enough. Yeah, it looks it. So I'm just going to rest that down. Actually, why am I resting that down? I need to put the buttons in first, don't I? So actually I am going to take off this front bit because, actually there's another screen protector on the front. There's one on the back and there's one on the front. So now that was just protecting the case, that one actually. So what we do need now is the buttons, which are all sat here. Be careful with this because it has got staples in, and staples can have a nasty habit of catching you unaware. This is where I open it up and it'll go bouncing all over the place. See what I mean about staples? There we go, they've all bounced out. I knew they would. Well, let's just throw them all out anyway. Don't need that bit of plastic. Right. I believe that goes that way around because there is actually a hole in the bottom right, looking it from this way on, and there's a little post in the bottom right. So put that in there, and then we put this over the top, and there's 4 posts this needs to sit on. So that's lovely in there now. This needs to sit in the bottom. That's them. Put in there. And then we have to get the buttons in. Now I can remember which one's which. Can anyone remember which way is which? Triangle's at the top, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. Yes, of course, triangles at the top. Now there is some funny notches in which way goes where. So you might have to mess around and get them in there. Just pulling the screen protector back a little bit so that I can get the square one in. And then the X goes on the bottom. You'll notice on the buttons there's kind of like a thicker little notch. You can just see there. Think of that as that's more pointing towards the center of all the buttons instead of the outer edges. It's not quite the center, but you'll get the idea when you're doing it. Then we need this bit of rubber, or silicone rather. That one could do with a bit of a wash. I'm going to go give that one a bit of a wash. Actually, let me go give them both a bit of a wash. Oh, that was simple enough. Right, should have thought of that beforehand. Just want to get this done really, but it is oh so many years of grime, and someone else's grime at that, so probably better off washing it. Right, now which way does this go? Probably that way around, because the square bit getting cut off just in front of the screen. Again, this has pegs to rest against. Right, we're nearly there, we're nearly there. So let's take off this screen protector. All that dust should be on the other side. Let's remove this screen protector. And let's marry this up. Of course, the buttons at the bottom have fallen out. So let's do it this way around. Put the buttons back in again. And put it this way on. There we go. Oh, what have I forgotten? Probably some of the most important things possible. There's shoulder buttons. Now, which way do they probably fit on? Let's use the new ones. Left and right, so they fit nicely on here. They don't seem to, do they? They just seem to rest. Aha, they're better off sitting underneath the screen, so there we go. Nearly made a mistake there. I need to put the shoulder buttons in, so they seem to fit pretty well underneath the screen. There we go. Yep. Seems to be. There we go, that's better. Whoa. Right, so let's flip this over. Ah, I lost the button. Right, so let's do it this way. Put it in, hold it in place. There we go. Pull that. So there we go. So everything's there, we just need to screw it back together again. I'm not going to do that just yet because which screw have I forgot? Was there one there? Aha, were you watching closely? That screw goes there. So okay, so these are all the external screws, so everything's back together again. Now, are we going to screw it all back together again and fingers crossed, or are we going to turn it on and fingers crossed? So I'm going to go for, let's just plug it in and see if it works. So there's the battery. Get the memory card in. There we go. That's a bit awkward. Have I put it in the wrong way? I think I have. Oh, that's in. That's better. It just wasn't. So the case isn't quite, I don't know, quite right. So let's get the little joystick cap on as well. This pushes in place. So okay, so I chickened out, screwed everything back together again, and problems. The very thin ribbon cable wasn't in all the way, it turned out, but now it is. As you can see, you get a really nice picture. You're getting some lines maybe, but that's the moire effect, don't worry about that. On the screen itself, it's perfectly fine. Green light's just flashing at me because it's running out of power because I've been babbling on and doing retakes constantly. The other side of it though is there doesn't seem to be any ghosting within the games that I've tried. Not that I've tried an awful lot of games, but there doesn't seem to be any ghosting. So replacing the panel, you know, the screen, I highly recommend it if you've already got a PSP 1000 and you've got the skills to do as such, or know somebody who does. As for doing it to a second-hand PSP you've just bought, depending on the cost and how bashed up it is and all that sort of stuff, maybe you want to save your money in the long run. Because what I've done here is spent a lot of money getting cases, getting the power socket thing, getting the power socket, the whole panel to actually control the power switch and everything, and then the whole new body and then the edging. Sadly, that has come to not far off, quite frankly, of buying a OLED Vita. So yeah, I wouldn't really bother doing what I've done. If I had bothered to search eBay a little bit better, I'd have done it that way, but I saw a YouTube video of this screen and I thought, oh, I want one of them. But anyway, the case, don't bother with the case. Keep your own case if it's a decent case. If it's really bashed up, maybe try to get yourself one of that it doesn't say Sony on it. Hint, hint, hint. Because as we saw with this one, I had to cut a post so that it actually fitted. Everything is just a little bit off. There's a millimeter there, a millimeter there, a few millimeters there, and a few millimeters that side. That it isn't quite the same. I don't know if they've done that on purpose to get past copyright laws and stuff. Though that seems a bit silly when they've got that sticking right there. The buttons themselves feel horrible compared to the original. The joystick doesn't slide around as easy, even though this is a brand new joystick and you think it would slide around a bit. The screws, I realised it was the original PSP screws that I was using, but the screwdrivers that they've given, since that were the only ones that I had that actually fitted in the screw holes on the right hand side, when you turn it over, it's actually ruined one of the screws, so I can never get back in again. Yippee. Am I going to bother sticking on the fake labelling? No, I'm not going to bother, because I don't want it if I do sell this at a later date and I forget, oh, I'm not about, I don't want someone thinking they've got an original PSP. They'll know that someone's been in. Apart from that, have a look in the description below. Check out the different links that I'm giving for the different things. Not affiliated with any of the sellers or anything like that. It's just, what I'm going to do is give you links to the sort of thing you want to try searching for yourself. Check out the Discord links, check out the Patreon links, hit that subscribe and that like button, and if you feel so, we can hit the down button as well. But as always, happy gaming.